Hi, guys. We are reading, or I guess I should say, we're on the beginning of our journey to reading the very popular Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I don't know about you guys, but like this book has been blowing up all over my feed, and it seems like everyone loves it. So I just have to assume it's going to be a great ride. And you all suggested that we read this amongst a group of three books. So thank you in advance. I'm sure we're going to love it. We also had the suggestion, which I loved, to, before we started the book, read the trigger warnings out loud and have a reaction to them because I don't know about you guys. I have not read the trigger warnings yet. I've heard nothing about this book other than that I think serial killers and a lot of dubious smut scenes. That's all I know.
I know one thing that involves. I think it's on the trigger list, but we'll
Something
find
trigger
out.
warning. So yes, up front, we want to let you know that is what we're going to do in this very mini episode is read the trigger warnings out loud. So if you know this book is not for you, you don't even want to know what the trigger warnings are, back out. We've got other books that have probably less trigger warnings in them. But yeah, before we get started, like out of the three of us, who like reads the trigger warnings usually? Like are Elena not at all?
I don't think so. I can't think of a book that's had trigger warnings, and the one Jamie reminded me of earlier, I definitely did not read the trigger warnings.
Hmm. Jamie, do you read them?
I typically do not. I don't have a lot of, I don't have anything that really triggers me. Um, and yeah, Elena and I were just talking earlier, and it was Haunting Adeline was the one that either of us did not read the trigger warnings for.
Yeah, I have to admit, I believe I've only read one book so far that has trigger warnings, which I will say I'm
Hmm.
very pro trigger warning because I think that it's great that for people that need to read the trigger warnings to know if it's a book that is going to be a good experience or a bad experience for them. Like I'm so thankful that they're becoming more popular. Um I think for the most part the books that I read like ride that line of not needing them, but I had one book in particular that did have trigger warnings, and I read them on purpose because I was reading the book, or we got through one chapter, but I was reading the book out loud to friends who had bought it for me. I think they were trying to call my bluff, like I wouldn't read it out loud while we were all sitting at a restaurant at dinner, and I did it. So that was the one time that I read a list of trigger warnings, but was mostly for the comedic factor rather than to see if I would be interested.
I think I know what book you're talking about because I
You
remember you
definitely know.
talking about
You
it.
definitely know what book I'm talking about. Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
think, because my nickname for it is not the title for it. Morning Glory Milking Farm. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest that book. Just like a quick little plug. Very, very good. But so yeah, Butcher and Blackbird, theoretically, we've heard has a list of trigger warnings that is right on the front. So we're just
Oh,
gonna,
wait, can I
we're,
can I just add
yeah,
something?
yeah.
Another reason why I don't typically read the list of trigger warnings is that sometimes it could be spoilery. So that's one reason. And it's funny because like some books that I have read that doesn't have trigger warnings, sometimes I feel like it should.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that ties in with like it's a good thing that it's getting more popular because hopefully they will just be standard and maybe less spoily in their standardization, which might be nice, but
Or even just like a line that says like, hey, just by reading this list of trigger warnings, it might be spoiling for you.
yeah. Yeah. Or like
Yeah.
making them more generic. Like if
Yeah.
these generic topics potentially bother you, like maybe flip to the other side and see like a more specific example of how these play into the story to see if it's something that is not for you.
Yeah. Either way, I do appreciate when it does have the trigger warnings. I don't read them.
Yeah. No, and that's a really
I'll
good
read them
point.
after. I'll read it after I'm done.
Um, because like I hate spoilers, so that's a really good point,
Yeah.
Jamie. And I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that these are not super spoily, but will create a lot of really fun things that we can talk about while we're reading the book because we can be like, oh, remember when we read about the thing? Like that, I think it was that
Hmm.
scene. Okay, So, without any further ado, I'm going to read out loud the content and trigger warnings. It looks like there's a paragraph and then a bulleted list. So I'll pause in the bulleted list so we can have some reactions and see what we think. But all right, the content and trigger warnings for Butcher and Blackbird. It says, as much as Butcher and Blackbird is a dark romantic comedy and will hopefully make you laugh through the madness, it's still dark. Please read responsibly. If you have questions about this list, please don't hesitate to contact me at brynweaverbooks.com or on one of my social media platforms. That's awesome. Thanks, Brynne. Like, really appreciate what a cool person you're being. So, right off the bat, I'm gonna have to try to not react before I read them out loud. But the first one is eyeballs and eye sockets, which I have a personal. I'm concerned.
Who wears
Nope.
contacts?
Not me. Fun fact, which probably hasn't come up ever or at all, is that I'm fairly squeamish. I'm a very squeamish person. So when I heard serial killer romance, I was like, well, we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed here. Worst case scenario, I take a break. But yeah, eyeballs and eye sockets. Gross.
Okay.
Amateur surgery. That sounds dangerous and ill-advised.
Don't try at home.
Or I guess they do. Like, it sounds like they probably do. I don't even like professional surgery, so this is interesting. Okay, number 3 is skin ornaments, which I'm less worried about. Have to assume
Okay.
that's like
That
piercings.
piercings are fine.
Skin ornaments. Like a souvenir is my
I
guess.
mean, I immediately thought like, maybe like a an in the nose pierce like some heavy duty piercings, but now I'm like, is one of their kinks that before they kill someone they turn them into a Christmas tree? Like is that are we
No, no.
I don't I don't think it's piercing.
I think it's piercings.
what's the ornament, Jamie?
I think it's gonna be like a dick piercing, like that kind of vibe. Oh shoot! I just got really loud, and I'm outside.
Your neighbors are immediately like, what is going on in the backyard?
I guess we'll have to read and find out.
Skin ornaments. Okay, number 4 is chainsaws, axes, knives, scalpels, a lot of sharp objects, which it does not bode well for me, but we are going to persevere.
Does it
You know what's
say
crazy?
go on?
What? Oh, I was just gonna anecdote. I every year I go to this haunted trail and they have one of those chainsaw people that chase you around. And that's the only time I ever hear chainsaws. To the fact I was like just in a yard the other day and someone started a chainsaw and my adrenaline spiked.
Someone's coming out of the trees. Well, you won't hear chainsaws reading this book, but apparently they're in here.
My
Yeah.
question was, does it follow by play? So like knife play, chainsaw play.
It just says chainsaws, comma
Okay, so
axes,
not
comma
what I had in mind.
knives, comma scalpels, and then M dash, a lot of sharp objects.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Like hopefully they're just laying on a table. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I have a lot of questions about this next one, which is accidental cannibalism.
Mm.
I mean, I'm immediately thinking Rocky Horror. Like, did anyone else immediately think Rocky Horror and like meatloaf is meatloaf and nobody told everybody else and then it's gross?
I have not read or watched that.
It's required watching now. You need to go. But yeah, like, is it a situation of somebody cooked the human and then didn't tell the people on the receiving end? Or are they also
That
thinking that they're using ground beef and it's not?
that's not accidental. I feel like if you cook food and how people eat it, you they're not accidentally eating it, like they're being lied to.
But like if I accidentally ate human, like if I didn't realize I was eating human, I would consider that accidental cannibalism. Like I would not blame myself for now being a cannibal. I would be like, joke was on me, but I'm not taking the fall for this one.
What if
Mm,
it's another kink? Like she like bites his ear and then it's just like swallow.
oops.
That's all I got to go off of. Accidental cannibalism. Are we ready for the next one? I haven't read it yet. We're good. Not so accidental cannibalism. Wow. Okay. That led perfectly.
The
Okay.
straight end. Straight
So
up cannibalism.
maybe we get a taste for
Oh,
the ground beef
cannibalism.
that isn't beef and we go with it. We're like, sure.
Okay.
Or it's a kink, which honestly at this point I'm leaning toward hoping it's that. I'm hoping it's like a oh, wow.
I'm ready for the next one now.
Okay, yeah. Questionable use of a mummified corpse.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh
Questionable.
no.
Oh god.
Questionable use.
Oh no.
Is this the mummy gone wrong?
I have a question for both of you. Because
Yeah.
we're all thinking the same thing. Would it be dry or like squishy? Because like the
I
mummified makes
don't
me think
know.
like maybe dry and scratchy, but like the corpse part is I don't know.
Oh my god.
My stomach
No.
hurts.
My very first thought went to that creepy poem, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but you definitely know the poem.
The one by Edgar Allan Poe that I love?
Yeah, that one.
Annabelle Lee?
Sarah. Yeah, that one.
How dare you disrespect one of my favorite poems ever written?
I just couldn't think of the name.
You said the creepy poem. He just loves her so
Yeah,
much
it's
and
kind of
she's
creepy.
dead.
Creepy.
Eternal and everlasting. This is why we discuss books together, because we have different perspectives. Okay. We now have a lobotomized manservant.
Like Frankenstein style? Like it's giving Frankenstein.
Yeah. I immediately thought of just like Jeeves, but like less helpful because full brain is not being used. But I don't know if we like see the lobotomy
Interesting.
occur, which
Hopefully not.
hopefully not. Ill-advised use of kitchen implements.
That's a kink. No way that one's not a kink.
Or it's like, because I actually really don't know much about this, so I'm assuming this is like a guy-girl relationship, so I'm just going with that. That maybe he is cooking like the cannibal meat with a wooden spoon, and she has to step in and tell him that that's not, like, you shouldn't cook raw meat with wood, that you should use
What?
plastic or silicone.
No, is that a fact?
Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. See,
I
ill-advised use of kitchen
100%
implements.
I 100% always use a wooden spoon for raw meat.
Elena, no.
Plastic is bad for you.
Yeah, but if you raw meat plus wood equals porous, and then the meat gets into the wood, and you can't ever wash it well enough.
You put it in the dishwasher.
What an interesting debate.
I'm just saying, that's a no. Google it after this. Just Google, like, should I use wooden kitchen implements with raw meat? And the answer is no. So I agree with you. This is probably a kink thing, but that was also a thought that came to my mind.
I also use wooden utensils.
You guys are killing me. You're all gonna get salmonella. Or whatever you
We'll
get
have
from
to look this
eating raw
up,
human.
and people can join us in this argument debate.
Yeah. Yeah, the most important debate from this is, do you also use wood to cook raw meat? no matter
Maybe
what
we'll
medium
learn
it is.
something about cooking, the right cooking utensil in this book.
I actually would probably lose my shit if that is a conversation that happens in this book. Like, you can't cook the raw human with wood. Like, come on. Oh, this one says, I'm sorry about the cookies and cream ice cream. I'm not really, in parentheses.
Oh no.
I'm
Not one
sorry.
of my favorite ice creams.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the cookies and cream ice cream. I'm not really.
That's
What
the
could
one
you
that I
do
would
to
toss
cookies
up
and cream ice
down.
cream?
I'm trying to
Wait,
think.
my guess is probably a bodily fluid. That's my guess.
Like, as a topping?
Or like made out of?
Oh, God.
Like
That's my guess. I don't know. But people, I've seen it mentioned a lot with this book. And it's always been like, I don't know, like a negative kind of grossed out reaction. And I'm trying to think like what could make it. What kind of
Like,
reaction would that have?
wait, hold on. Like, are we saying that they got out, like, one of those cute little, like, ice cream makers? And they put in different ingredients?
I don't know. We'll read and find out.
I'm gonna have to eat whatever ice cream is in my freezer before I get to that point. Oh no.
What's everyone's favorite ice cream flavor?
I love all ice cream. That's really hard. Peanut butter chocolate?
coffee.
Like, ooh.
I like coffee Oreo, which is another way of saying coffee, cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream.
Yeah, coffee flavored cookies and cream. I will, yeah, and basically anything with Oreo in it is good.
Oh God.
Yuck. Okay, well, there's only one more.
Well, we'll see if we will be able to stomach eating ice cream after this.
Yeah. Maybe
What
we
if we
all
can we
get bowls.
record and eat ice cream?
Yeah. No, I was thinking we all just record it while eating ice cream. Like an ice cream party.
But we don't know like which section it happens in.
We will
We
before
might
we shoot it.
we might regret saying all this. Just saying.
I feel like we're gonna come back to this and be like, I was getting really cocky about how I was gonna handle that ice cream scene. Oh man. All right, so there's one more. It's a little long. It's got like 3 lines. So I'm going to read the whole thing and then we can react. The last one says, detailed sex scenes which include but are not limited to. And I said I was going to read this all out loud, so damn it, I'm reading it out loud. You've all been warned. But are not limited to cock warming, rough sex, praise kink, anal, adult toys, choking, spitting, dom sub interactions, genital piercings. Found the internet.
There's the genital piercing.
I told you.
I am not reading that
Not
again.
in order.
Oh no, but I need specification on what the first one is.
It's definitely not piercings. No.
You know what? I'm gonna, because this is a safe space of everybody who loves books. I'm going to
Okay,
admit I
there's more
also.
on the back.
Oh no. Is there?
I just saw the first one.
Okay, well, we'll get to that after. Elena, I'll admit I also don't know what it's talking about, and I'm not going to Google it before I read it.
But I want to know, Jamie.
Yes.
What is it?
Skin
Like,
ornaments? I don't know. My guess is
No,
that
no,
it's
no, no. Cock warming.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is.
I love how you
I
whisper
may
it. Like
I will
if someone's volume isn't up on the podcast, they're not gonna hear it.
that might be a first for me. My
Um,
guess is like, it's warming it up for
I have to assume in an uncomfortable way. Like I'm picturing like a fireplace in, but I don't know. I have no idea. Like if it's on a trigger warning, I was trying to think of like what. But
Well, I think it's just part of the larger trigger warning. Like, LOL, guys, there's smut in this book.
Yeah, like these scenes are graphic, and in various manners are they graphic.
Also, that was a lot of like different graphic smut scenes potentially, and this book is not that thick.
It's not that thick. Are we ready for page 2, which I would have entirely just skipped by because I don't want to start reading it until we're ready.
Yes.
Oh no, the next one says references to parental neglect and child abuse, which I really don't love. I don't like that one.
I'll read it, even though it's traumatizing.
I mean,
I
I'll
feel like
say
it's
like
gonna be flashbacks.
yeah, we've read plenty of books where this happens to some of our favorite characters, so it's probably something along those lines that they just like need a big hug. And also
Hmm.
some of what we just read in that last bullet point to like get through their PTSD.
Wait, does it say what's the exact line?
References to parental neglect
Oh,
and
okay.
child abuse.
References. Yeah, references. So it's
Yes.
not something that,
So
is occurring presently to people now.
no, I have to assume it's like this is why they are the way they
Flashback.
are.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. The next one is parental loss not depicted. Sad.
You got to the sad ones.
Yeah, these are the real trigger warnings. These ones aren't fun. I want more ice cream flavors that get ruined. Are we ready for the next one?
I know about the second book where another food item is ruined.
Why is
Really?
it food items?
I'm not
Is it
gonna
also
say.
is it also an ice cream flavor?
No, no, it's
Is Brynne
another
just like
dish.
rocky roads going down in this book?
It's not ice cream,
Okay, great.
but it's another well beloved favorite food item.
There's someone
I guess would be a peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese sandwich,
Those are those are really good guesses.
but not right.
I'm not gonna say.
One of them's
We'll,
right. One of them's
we'll have to
right.
read book 2. The next one's really sad too. It says references to child sexual assault, not in detail.
Oh,
One or both of our characters is very fucked up, and I want to hug them, and I don't even know what their name is. Um, the last one is it's a book about serial killers, so there's some generally messed up murder and chaos. Sure.
Fair enough.
that must be where the weapons come in and the skin ornaments.
Yeah, that's where the chainsaw happens.
Yeah.
Can you read the dedication?
Yes, I can read the dedication. The dedication says, for those of you who read the trigger warnings and said, accidental cannibalism, count me in. This one's for you.
Fantastic. I love that.
All right. Well, I don't feel like that was any of our reactions, really, but I am very intrigued. Like, I will say that overall, this whole list has me very interested to read it, and I feel like we might be correct on how some of it's being used, but also probably wildly off base with how others of them come into play, which I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens.
I can't wait to see how wrong we are.
Yeah, as always.
Do you guys listen to the playlists if a book has a playlist?
I've never
I
read a book that
do.
has a playlist.
What? They're amazing. I love it when authors do that.
Oh my goodness. I will be for sure.
Oh, she
Absolutely.
has songs for every chapter. That's so cool.
I love that. I'm a little jealous because as someone who also dabbles in writing, that had been my idea, and I have a specific college professor, which they're probably not watching this, but if you are, it was you, that said it's really hard to describe a song while you're writing a scene, and you should probably not do it. And I was like, well, what if we made it so that they could listen to the song while the scene was happening? And they were like, yeah, okay. I was like, I'll find out how to do it. And I guess people found out how to do it. So thank you for doing that, paving the
This
way.
is actually a first for me where I see like a chapter breakdown with songs for
Mm-hmm.
each of them.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
very
cool.
cool. I
Yeah,
love that the
I think
first
the
song is
one
by
book
21 Pilots.
I think the
Very
one book
cool.
I read had like one song for every chapter.
Mm.
I did not listen to them.
You're missing part of the experience.
I know, but then I have to stop reading to play the songs, and then I'm distracted.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
really it.
like, do you, like, listen to them in the background while you're reading it? Is that
Or after or before.
It can be distracting during. I've
Yeah.
experienced that because like the song is so good, and you're just like, oh, I want to I want to sing along.
Yeah, or, like, if it's a song you don't know, because I would find myself, like, trying to figure out what the lyrics are.
Yes, and how it
Um,
like correlates to the book.
yeah. If you have read a book that has a playlist, let us know. Like, before, after, during, all three. Like, how do you do it? We're gonna have to know soon, so let us know. But yeah, any other thoughts on the trigger warnings list?
I'm so excited to read.
Yeah, no, I'm very pumped. I'm so looking forward to this. So thank you again, everybody, for voting for this book. I have a feeling that we're gonna love it. It is certainly one of the darker reads that we've all read together. So I'm pumped to do something a little different with all of you, and I hope you'll read along. Or if you've already read it, I hope you're already enjoying how ridiculous our thoughts are on this book. But yeah, we will share the breakdown with you, and you can read along with us. Elena, did you have a final thing you wanted to say? No, you're good. I wasn't sure if that was like you
I'm good.
raising your hand, like, wait, I have some extra thoughts about cookies and cream ice cream, or what was going on.
No, that was my preemptive wave. Also, I accidentally just looked at the last page. I'm gonna put this down now.
Elena was like, we need to leave so I can immediately crush the first half of this book. So we'll let her do that. But thank you guys for
Yeah.
joining us, and we will see you for the first section next week. Bye.